The Nintendo turned 40 this year, and what better way to celebrate than by playing Mario Bros with a weird Famicom retro controller that sorta looks like a cat? See, little ears and eyes there. Isn't that right, you little cutie? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're such a cute little princess. I could just eat you up. Oh, you're so cute. In 1983, several things happened. The final episode of MASH airs. The world got Cabbage Patch Dolls. Remember them? We also got Microsoft Word. But thank goodness for that. ARPANET officially changes to use the Internet Protocol, creating the Internet. Alright, that's pretty cool. And in 1983, I was 1 year old. I was eating solid food. I was a big fan of arrowroot cookies. Still am, actually. I was pooping my pants a lot. I don't do that anymore. Thank goodness for that. But something else happened in 1983 that shook the foundations of the world. The Nintendo Famicom was released in Japan, and with that humble piece of tech, a legacy was born. So many of the fun Nintendo franchises that we love today began on the Famicom. It was the seed, planted in 1983, that grew and shaped the world of gaming as we know it. And it's at least partly because of that groundbreaking console that you're here right now watching TechDweeb on YouTube, play with retro emulators and the other things that he does. This year, 2023, the Nintendo Famicom turned 40 years old. And how the time has flown by. So I guess it's a good time to celebrate the good old Nintendo Famicom and remember its legacy by playing some retro NES games. If only I had a perfect controller for the task. Something that paid homage to the classic Famicom aesthetic, something straight out of 1983. Ah well. Oh, look at that. I do. This, Dweebs and Dweebettes, is the CHOC 1983 40th Anniversary Edition Wireless Controller by PB Tales. It's a slim, lightweight, unique controller for the Switch, Android, iOS, and PC, specifically made to celebrate and commemorate and rememorate the historic release of the Nintendo Famicom. To say it's unique is an understatement. It's hands down the most unconventional controller that I've ever seen, let alone touched with my dweeby hands. I'll give you a moment to soak in the glorious Famicom retro vibes of this thing. Okay, that's enough of that. So now that we've had sufficient time to gawk, we have to answer the obvious question. Is this thing actually any good? Is it more than just a pretty face? Or is it as weird in the hands as it is on the eyes? Well, let's find out. We'll start with my unboxing, and if the controller wasn't weird enough, the unboxing was also kind of weird. So the outside of the box is pretty nice. They have this nice classy graphic on the front and minimalist info around it. It really does feel like a nice high quality collector's item just from the box. This sleeve comes off and we can open the box and, oh, wait a second. Do you smell that? Yeah, there is definitely a smell coming from this box. A really freaking strong smell. But here's the thing, it smells amazing. I was kind of confused. And then I realized that in this little envelope on top, there's like a air freshener, I guess. It's like a little piece of fuzzy cardboard and it smells amazing. It's like a cologne scented air freshener, I think. This I was not expecting. Yeah, I've been hit in the face by smells when I opened products before, but never have I smelled something and I was like, oh my god, that smells amazing. I need more of that scent in my life. And we also get a little user manual in there. And we also get an attractive matching USB-A to USB-C charging cable, which is always nice when the carpet matches the drapes. And here's the controller itself. Yeah, it smells really, really nice. I mean, there's lots to talk about. Let's do the shape first. Have you ever seen a controller like this before? It looks like a batarang. Like I can throw this and it'll take out the bad guys all stealthy-like and then return to my hand. I mean, it doesn't actually do that. I tried. The bad guys got away. They have this angled geometric pattern motif that carries across both the visual design and also the shape. Even the back of this device has these angles carved into it. I love it personally. I think it's really freaking cool looking. The next unique thing here is that the controller is thin. It's thinner than lots of retro handhelds. This thing would be super pocketable. Let's test that now actually. Anyone have a pocket? I have a pocket. Alright you, come on, get in front of the camera. Like this? Yeah, that's good. Now put this in your pocket. Oh, I'm not ready. I have stuff in my pockets already. Alright, well empty your pockets then. The stuff it's my personal, it's private stuff, okay? I don't want to empty my pockets here. Oh my god. Alright, go empty your pockets in the other room or something. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, empty pockets. Alright, now put this in there. Oh, wait, I forgot something. You know what? Never mind. I don't have time for this. No pocket test today. I mean, it's probably pretty darn pocketable. It's not the most pocketable device that I have. I think that would go to the 8-bit Nano controllers, but it's pretty darn thin and light and compact, all things considered. And the final thing that makes it look unique looking is the visual language. It says right on the front, FC 40 anniversary. So they are going for a visual style that matches the old Nintendo Famicom controllers. I don't have a Famicom controller to show you and compare, but judging by the pictures, yeah, they did a great job. I love me some nostalgic looking tech, and the fact that it's a 40th anniversary Famicom piece just gets my dweeby juices flowing. Let's go over what the actual controls are and how they feel. Starting with the D-pad, I guess. It's good. It's a bit on the small side, which I don't mind. It's a firm membrane feel, and I like the action on it. Great inputs from this. There's no false diagonals or anything. This is a really good D-pad as far as I'm concerned. The face buttons are great too. They are also pretty small. They have a nice dome shape, short travel, mushy action with a slight click, and they feel good. I can see myself really enjoying playing retro games on this D-pad and buttons. And then we have dual thumbsticks in the PlayStation configuration. They're pretty small, basically Switch style sticks. These are Hall effect sticks, so they won't develop drift over time, in theory. The actual input on the sticks is not great for two reasons. The first is that they're not smooth feeling. I can feel some physical resistance as they move around in the casing. And the second, more important issue is that there's actually quite a bit of snapping on the diagonals. The input on the sticks gets stuck in the corners of the movement, so they don't do so well on the accuracy test. Very similar to the sticks on retro handhelds, they're fine for lots of retro games, but not ideal for precision games like first-person shooters, as we'll see. We have inline bumpers and triggers, big L1 and R1 and small L2 and R2, and they are clicky. I mean, they're inline, which means that some people will like them and some won't. I think they're just fine. I don't mind inline. I was playing a bunch of games to test and I had no issues using these in any type of game, and I think they probably had to do them this style just to keep the device thin and low profile. So it's all good in my book. We also get start and select, of course, and then because this is a Switch controller, we also get photo and home. On the PC, this home button acts as an Xbox guide button, so for me it brings up the Steam Big Picture mode, which I like. And then we have a turbo button, so you can hold this and press any face or bumper button and it'll turn on a rapid fire mode, and you can press it again to disable it. That's pretty useful, I guess. And finally, we have this connect button up here. You can tap it to enter the pairing mode for Switch, hold it to enter Bluetooth pairing mode for PC, hold the pair button and Y to enter Android pairing, and hold the pair button and X to enter iOS pairing. Oh, and I should mention that this does have 6-axis motion control, so you can do motion control stuff on the Switch if you're into that. And you can adjust the vibration intensity. The vibration is a bit loud, more of a buzz than a rumble, but I like it when it's on the lowest setting. And let's talk about the hand feel now, I guess. This is the part where I gotta be real with you. it's not the most comfortable controller. It's a bit cramped, it's a bit awkward shaped. However, I have to mention that any controller this size would have the same issues with me. This is a small little minimalist controller. It's not made for big, comfortable gaming sessions. It's made to look cool, to be thin and light, maybe pocket friendly, or maybe just minimalist. And considering that, it's no more or less comfortable than any controller that goes for this sort of functionality, like the 8-bit Do controllers, or even a non-pro Switch controller. Actually, in some ways, it's more comfortable because there are sort of grips on the bottom here to wrap your fingers around. But it's also less comfortable in some ways because a few of these stylish angles don't feel great under your fingers. So overall, it's kinda meh. I like it more for its uniqueness and its minimalism and its portability, and not because it's actually my most comfortable controller to game on. Far from it. Speaking of gaming, let's do some gaming, shall we? Here I am, all connected up, connected to my laptop here. This time, I want to put the controller through its paces, so let's try some various types of games and see how well it does. First, I wanted to try a first-person shooter. Here's Post Void, a game I am so familiar with that I have a sixth sense for control issues. And this thing isn't great. The sticks at least. I don't feel very accurate in my aiming. I end up having to strafe into my shots. It works, it's just not nearly as precise as a proper full-size controller. Same thing with Enter the Gungeon. I can tell right away that my aim with that right stick isn't as on the mark as I'd like, which I think is because of that diagonal direction snapping I was mentioning. I mean, you can play it, but you'll be able to tell that it's got that diagonal snap and it just feels a bit off. That said, for every other use that doesn't require a precision stick, this thing is just fine. If you're playing platformers or 2D games, you'll be able to use this stick and you shouldn't have much issue. However, I consider the sticks secondary on this controller because it's a retro style controller. So why not just stick with that D-pad as much as possible? And this is where the controller shines because the D-pad is great and the buttons are great, and when you're using it like a retro controller, you'll have no issues with the controls at all. I figured, hey, this is a 1983 Famicom 40th anniversary controller, so let's play some Famicom. And I was loving the retro vibe of this thing, playing these old NES games, geeking out about the idea that Nintendo's as old as I am, and here I am in 2023 with access to every single Nintendo game, playing them on a beautiful modern display, and I'm playing them on this really cool wireless controller that looks like a piece of tech from the future dressed like a nostalgic old Nintendo Famicom controller. The novelty factor alone was enough to make this a fun experience. If you want something to commemorate the 40th anniversary of the Famicom, then this does that. It's not the most comfortable controller in the world, but it's unique and it's very portable. You can shove this in your pocket or the front pocket of your backpack or whatever. Doesn't take up much space. A little minimalist controller that you can take around. If you're looking for a high-end controller for first-person shooters or precision gaming on PC, then you're not gonna have a great time. Those analog sticks just won't get the job done if you're looking for serious gaming. But as a neat little retro controller, yeah, it's kinda cool. Kinda weird, but kinda cool. If you want to pick up a 40th anniversary CHOC 1983 controller, I'll include a link in the description below. And that brings us to the end. Thanks for watching and stuff. If you liked this video, then check out this video, my review of another kinda weird controller, an anime waifu controller. That was actually a pretty fun video. There's a link on the screen and down in the description below, and you can go watch it now because we're done. I'm TechDweeb, thanks for watching, bye bye.